is a better mind, better work ethic, better attention on me. So how hard I am with my age, what I do with my age, all gonna be geared around her response. This is Mariah. I just got on her. Just walked my left circles and my right circles. I have D-ring snaffle bit in her today. Up until today, I've been riding her in a leverage bit. I've had a low port leverage and then my triangle port leverage in her. This is the first time with a snaffle bit. So you're looking at the cows. I don't think she might have ever seen cows until she came here, because she looks at them pretty hard. She's been riding really good. Still needs to be better fit. That's what the biggest thing I've been working on is fitness physically and fitness mentally. She hasn't been worked a lot before she came here, so she really didn't have a good work ethic. I've shown a couple of videos of what I've been doing to try to work through that. Today is going to be kind of a continuation of that. Plus, my plan is to lope her some today, as long as she behaves and everything goes like it's been. So I walked her a little bit. Now I'm gonna ask her to trot. She has a really nice jog. As I'm trotting her around, I'll be using my legs as needed. Be inside leg to get a little bit of bend. Right there when she looks out, it'll be inside rein, inside leg. All my aids that I typically talk about, what I'm after is a better mind, better work ethic, better attention on me. So how hard I am with my age, what I do with my age, all gonna be geared around her response, how she acts. Right there, her head kind of goes up, kind of avoiding the bit, bump her forward with my spurs. She put her head down and kind of pulled on my hands. I bumped again with my spurs. That all goes back to not lifting her back and kind of getting heavy on her front end, pulling on my hands. It's all part of the fitness thing. Takes time to build those muscles. Takes time to get fit. Trot builds muscle and lope builds wind. We've been doing a lot of trotting, but we need to do some loping too. Not so much to build wind, but for her mind. Her mind needs to know that I will make her. If you watch her trotting around, kind of where her attention bounces around, not quite totally convinced that she has to do what I ask her to do. She'll poke her shoulder out once in a while, kind of lock on the cows, just the little things, want to kind of make her own decisions, be kind of independent, which I want her to be aware of what's going on around her, be aware of her surroundings, but she has to let me make the decisions. Now let's try to loop and go the other direction. As I'm trotting around this way, just kind of setting my hands, using my legs. I expect her to find the release off of the contact with my hands. She's not a beginner horse as far as she already knows those things. Not too happy about the effort that she has to put into accomplishing those things, but she knows to find the release. To kind of push on my hands a little bit. That's all part of the process, her building those muscles to keep herself in frame. Ask for a faster trot. Make it feel a little more like work. Started to lope. I didn't ask for the lope yet. I'd like a little faster trot first. Now let's go ahead and lope. She needs to use her back end a lot better. You watch her head kind of bounce around. That's because she's not using her back end good enough. Her back isn't rounded good enough. All goes back to the same fitness. Not really doing anything to bring her nose in. I am using a lot of spur, encouraging her to lift her back, encouraging her to push with her back end. You notice when we first started loping, her stride was worse than it is now. Still isn't great, but it was worse than it is now. So I wanted to get her moving under saddle before I ask a whole lot of her. Just like I've said before, gotta have forward. Now let's go ahead and start making a little contact with her face. Kind of lift my hands, set my hands. I'm lifting because I want to encourage breaking at the pole. There we go. Release. Let's do it again. Leg, lift my hands. And again. And again. And again. She's getting better. All right, so she kind of pinned her ears at me there. Told me no. Pull her head to the side. I'm gonna spur on her a little bit. I'm gonna ask again. This is physically pretty hard work. She's not very fit, and she's kind of complaining about the work. The better fit I get her while she's here, then the better mind she's gonna have for her owner when she goes home. The reason that is because she'll be physically fitter, her mind will be more willing to do what the owner asks. There we go. Still set my hands and asking her to find the release. Leg, 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 leg. Now if you do this, it's important that when the horse does break at the pole and soften to your hands, that you don't take up the slack. It's also important that you use a little bit of inside rein for bend, a little bit of outside rein to support the outside shoulder. And as you're going around, that amount of contact isn't necessarily the same. I might squeeze one hand Might soften one hand, depending on what she's doing. Little subtle things. But it's really important through all this that I use a lot of leg so that she pushes in the back end. That's where the muscles are weak, is in her back and her back end. So that's the muscles I need to say, use. Do this. Lift your back. Push with your hips. When she does that, all this head stuff's gonna go away. I'm sure the keyboard warriors out there are gonna say, oh, she's in pain, oh, she's hurting, her teeth need to be floated. No, none of that. This is normal behavior for a horse in this situation. Don't look for pain where there is none. All right, let's let her walk a little bit. Walk, walk. Not gonna let her stop. She has to keep moving. Like I said, we have to have forward. We're not changing directions yet. I will in a minute, but not yet. See how she's kind of all meandering left and right? She's trying to evade what I'm asking her to do. She's like, well, this is a lot of work. I want to go over here. That's all the mental stuff that has to be accomplished, has to be fixed. Set the owner up for success. Not doing anything real bad, not trying to get me off or do anything stupid. She just wants to be a little lazy. And she'll try to put a little effort into being lazy. And if I let any of that slide, then that's just going to encourage her to keep doing that behavior. And that's why it's really important that you as a horseman, as an owner, know when it's behavior, know when it's pain. Because if you suspect pain for this and you stop, well, then you have just encouraged the horse to do it worse the next time because he got rewarded for bad behavior. Just like the video I just recorded about teaching the horse more try with your release. That video is probably out by now. I'm not sure. If it isn't out by the time this one comes out, it will be out soon. And it talks about how you release to encourage the mind to do a thing. And if you release at this point, when she's doing this kind of behavior, then you're encouraging more of this kind of behavior. Even if you think it's pain, which is not pain, you would be doing detriment to your horse by releasing for her. Now, if it really is pain, that's a different story. You as a horseman should be able to tell the difference. If you can't, then you need to work on those skills, because that is utmost importance for your horsemanship skills to progress. Know when it's a training issue, when it's a behavioral issue, when it's a pain issue. You're going to be stuck in your horsemanship until you learn that. And that's just a matter of knowing your horse and knowing when it's going to be something, when it's going to be behavior, when it's going to be pain. This horse is obviously not in pain. All you got to do is spend a few minutes around her in the stall or around her in general, and it's obvious that it's not pain. She only does this behavior when you're asking her to work. That's the key. Okay, let's ask for a lope this direction in this lead. Left leg back. A smooch, nothing happened. Bump with my right spur. Let's ask again. She has a pretty rough lope, right now, but when she gets her body more correct, when she gets more fit, it will be better. She's not using her hocks and her stifles very good in the back. That is confirmation. That is not pain. That is strictly confirmation. Because of that, she's not going to be a high-level pleasure horse, which is what got her culled out early in her career. But she's going to be a really nice horse for her current owner. And the lope will get better as she uses her body better, as she gets better physically fit, better mentally fit. Again, I'm just kind of setting my hands, using my legs to lift her back, expecting her to find that release. Notice her head is getting a little bit more still, a little bit less complaining. She's getting a little bit tired. Getting a horse tired is really key to a better work ethic. That is really instrumental, really important for them to start thinking, hey, I need to make better decisions. I need to make better choices. She's getting worse about how she's carrying her body because she's getting tired. Let her walk. I'm not going to stop. We're going to walk. Walk a little bit, and I'm going to trot a little bit. Have to keep walking. Notice right there, she stopped. I was pretty hard on her because I need her to make better decisions. I'm not asking for anything hard, not asking for anything complicated, just want to walk. We came down to a walk. She got her body all cattywampus, not really paying attention to what I was asking for, trying to blow me out, block me out. So I was hard on her. It's not acceptable. That's that mental fitness that I'm talking about. Physically, she's tired. Mentally, she's not really tired. If mentally she was tired, she wouldn't have tried that, and she wouldn't be looking left right here. That's why we're going to trot. Now, I'm going to ask her to more collection, more correct. Physically, it's going to be hard. Mentally, it's going to be hard. Got my hands just kind of locked on the saddle. Expecting her to find that release. Basically, kind of like riding with side reins. By bracing my hands on the saddle, I can do a better job of keeping my hands still, not giving a release when she pulls on my hands. She's pulling pretty hard. When she does, I'm bumping harder with my spurs. I'll kind of ride to go forward, bump with my spurs if she's not going forward, bump harder with my spurs when she's hanging on my hands. Sometimes it's both spurs, sometimes it's one spur. Depends on what she's doing. Let's change directions. Adjusted my reins to get the left bend. And again, giving her a chance to find the release. Bump there, just kind of pulling down on my hands, bump, 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 bump. Inside, outside, outside, inside. There we go. Outside, outside, inside, bows, inside, bows, outside, right, outside, 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 inside, and there we go. Right there, she was pulling pretty hard, poking the right shoulder out, kind of taking me over to the wall. That's why I was bumping so much with that outside spur, and a little bit inside to get some bend. I really didn't want to pick up my hands to go ahead and steer in, because that really wasn't the issue. It was the right shoulder was the issue. Now let's let her walk. Better downward transition. Still on my hands some. But it's better. That's improvement. It's pretty humid today. I think our temperatures are in the mid 70s with pretty high humidity. We're both sweating pretty good. Feels like springtime. Now she's a little bit mentally tired. So this is Mariah. I'm going to continue working with her, get her more mentally fit, more physically fit. A lot of similar stuff, but keep carrying it to a higher level. If you've been watching her videos or progression of her videos, you should be able to see her gradually getting better. If you want to see those videos, I'll put a link somewhere here to her playlist on YouTube. Until next time, thank you for watching.